Third pick up here for Talon, though. We'll see where they head with this draft. I mean, Iron Night Stalker's already a very kind of devastating opening here for Motivate to go against. And, you know, when I see this kind of opening, it's a very confident opening, isn't it, from Talon? It's like, it kind of sends you the message of, hey, we're so much better that we're just going to run over you with this Night Stalker. And we've seen it before. If you have a good lane during with the Night Stalker, with an IO behind you, and now a Grimstroke on top, it's very hard to try and combat that. So we'll see what they can do again. I'm hoping Motivate.Trust have a much better game plan here and, you know, put up at least a better fight. We'd love to see a game 3. Talon Esports, they look so clean, though. They just didn't give any kind of opening away. And, well, for their 4th pick now, more calls to come out. Either a Makoto or a Savage hero. Would you rather just go the Savage Pos 1? I think it's quite safe to do so. Maybe just leave Makoto with the surprise pick at the end.
Yeah, I mean, you already see your offlane match with Mars Weaver. You can kind of just manage that in your Pos 1 now. You don't need to worry too much. They will go with a Void Spirit first, though. So they do opt to take the Mikado hero first. Highly mobile mid. This is something we know Mikado plays really well. Again, you know, everyone knows Mikado for his Spirit Brothers. Fun fact here, Mike, I was having a meeting with Talon Content Creation, right? We were talking about this. So apparently in the team house, they were asking around, just as trivia, they were asking, you know, like Sophie and stuff, what do you think is Mikado's greatest hero? And she would say Ember, and Mikado was like, no, you don't know me. And obviously you and I know, Mike. I want to ask you, I want to figure out, Mike, do you remember what Mikado's best hero is?
Best hero or favorite hero?
Yes. Best. What he considers his best.
I always looked at it as the Storm, but I would also... No, don't you dare, sir. It's either the Storm or, in my opinion, the TA. TA or Storm.
Okay. You're safe. You're safe. Very good job, Mike.
TA, that's where we got the Yellow Flash nickname. That's what we call him, Minato, when he's playing. And again, you don't understand the reference, John, because you haven't watched Naruto, because you're just... I don't know what you are. No, you're not cultured, John. No, you're not.
I'm cultured, man.
No,
I'm cultured.
Tell the viewers what you've been watching, John.
I haven't been watching it too recently. I was reading last time when we were talking, Mike. You know, the last thing I read was Ajichi's Useless Princesses. Every time I say the name, it just doesn't sell it. But it's a great manga, okay? It sounds absolutely weird, but it's great. Useless Princesses is great. You know what else is great, Mike? A Kunkka coming out for Fearless on mid. So Gotcha Boy Kunkka comes through. That gives you a good way of handling that IO. You've got a good set to X back to relocate save. And you can kind of handle that mid lane well. I mean, Void Spirit versus Kunkka is not completely one-sided. There's a lot of ways for both sides to play. Lots of good wave clear on both ends. So this should give Gotcha Boy a much stronger start in comparison to his game 1, where it was holding even for a while, Mike. But once Mikado hit 6, his burst damage took over.
That it did, John. And you're welcome, by the way, Makoto, for me actually knowing exactly what your favorite hero was. Obviously, Sophie needs to do a bit... Shout out to Sophie, by the way. I saw her in chat earlier. She's a good sport. She was running with the memes last night, but, you know, a bit more research. So, Sophie, come on. You've got to know these things. Come on now. Of course it's the TA. That's why we call him the Yellow Flash. Of course it's the TA.
I think I remember that time where, you know, the TA Ags just came out and Mikado was one of the early players to pick it up. I mean, we were also watching China, and China dug into the Ags very fast. But in C, Mikado was one of the few players who loved it, right? Like, he'd go for the Ags build on Old Boom all the way back. Gary must be reminiscing as well. And if Randy's there, he's thinking back as well, having a good chuckle. But I remember that. Like, he loved the Ags. He was a ninja, Mike. I will never understand the references, and I think I'm happy not knowing, Mike.
I don't know what to say to you sometimes, JohnXFire. I don't know what to say to you. If Talon Esports management are watching, make John watch Naruto. Please. Make him watch it. Force him. Tell him you're going to drop him. Drop him if he doesn't watch it.
It's too many episodes, man. I don't have that much time. How many
mean?
Episodes is in Naruto? Like, you know, the dad of Boruto. Yeah. How many episodes?
No. Don't bring up Boruto. Nobody wants to hear about that garbage. All right, Boruto is just complete trash. Nobody watch that garbage. And if John, don't even tell me it's too long, because I'm a One Piece enjoyer as well. And shout out to all those people with looking at the spoilers for 144. Don't spoil it in the chat. Don't spoil it. But what a great anime and manga One Piece is.
You are a sick man, Mike. You follow all these long form things. You know what else is a sick thing? Razor last pick coming out from Talon. You have some good heroes to link up. Motivate.Trust do cover their bases, though. Drow does come out, so at the least, Razor's going to have to work double time. I feel like a blink is going to be necessary with a BKB for Razor to really be on top of a Drow to get static link off, but it might not even be your primary target, right? Like, you can just have the Void Spirit focus on the Drow in the backline, have the Razor handle the Kunkka or the Mars, and just run with that. Now, the Razor Mars lane isn't as straightforward for Savage. Masa does have the Spear to take away the static link, so it's not going to be like a rundown lane for Talon. It should be a little bit more manageable. I think I still favor Talon's draft, though. I feel like overall, their supports have really good combinations on hand. They have really good control from pretty much all their heroes, save for the Razor. Whereas for Motivate.Trust, their big stunts are really just Spear and X both Torrent, which isn't much. The issue is your supports don't have much playmaking. It reminds me of some of the series we saw yesterday where we saw Undying Phoenix. Undying Weaver just doesn't have control as well, so you're going to have to work double time from the mid and off lane to get some action going.
Yeah. And when I look at this Drow, and I know we had that incident yesterday where some idiot said Drow's a trash tier pick. I don't know who it was again, John. I can't remember quite frankly, but you're against the Void Spirit. And even worse, you're against the Night Stalker, John. As a Drow Ranger, let me tell you, that is not a fun time. Especially when you've got if you give this Night Stalker a good lane, there might not be any coming back from that. Like, it's tough. Mind you, Drow against Night Stalker in the laning phase, usually pretty good, right? Pretty easy to harass him out. Issue is you're going to have an IO right behind that Night Stalker, so he's going to be able to just focus on denying creeps away from the Drow, who has a pretty bad attack animation. You know, range hero, obviously harder to CS. We'll see how it all pans out. Do you prefer one draft to the other, though, John, before we do get into it?
Yeah, I'm still preferring Talon's draft. I think overall, again, they can take more activity on their supports if they wanted to. There's not as much pressure on the cores to play make. And as you mentioned, Mike, you've got the jump potential with the Void Spirit and the Night Stalker to reach into the Drow, and allowing the Razor to focus on the Mars, to focus on the Kunkka. So I think you still have a lot of ways of working this a lot better for Talon. I think for Motivate.Trust, some of the same issues stand, where you can't expect the supports to play make too much. I mean, what's a Weaver going to do? What's an Undying going to do to set up these kills for the team? Not much. The pressure's on Gotcha Boy. The pressure's really on Masa to get that. And Savage, I mean, you know, Toy could actually enjoy dogs, but yeah, you know, I can't tell if it's actually side shade because, you know, they're all friends. So maybe Toy really just likes his French bulldogs. I don't know.
Oh, hold on a minute. Savage is with a correction there. Watcher, apparently, is the word he wants to use. Doggy watcher. Goodness me, Savage. Savage feeling a little bit cheeky today. Can't blame him after that game one. I'm sure they're very relaxed right now on the side of Talon. You know, props to Motivate. This is arguably one of the hardest teams to have to go up against in Div 2 right now in the form of Talon. So you can't put too much pressure on these boys from Motivate.Trust, but again, you'd much rather see a much closer game this time around if we can afford to. This bot lane, Boom Boy,
the battle begins.
Should be fine to just secure that boundary rune down to the bot side. In fact, it is going to be a 2-for-2 this time, so no early advantage here for Talon Esports. They'll go back to their respective lanes, and we'll start off with the bot lane this time, John. Toy, Boom Boy, on the Undying Drow, going to be against KP and Hyde on that Night Stalker IO. And I think this bot lane is quite powerful. Like, Drow Undying is very hard to go against, especially as Night Stalker IO. You might be able to hold the lane, and I think KP's idea here is he wants to just be able to CS and just survive through this laning stage. But I wouldn't be surprised if Motivate were able to pick up a couple kills here.
Yep, it can be really aggressive, especially if you do manage to get, say, the early Tombstone and just run them down, get the slows going with the Frost Arrows with the zombies. You can just melt. And you can already see the issue for Hyde here. You can't really stand in range of the Drow. Doesn't trade too well. The K really rips through his EHP. And this does mean a slower start for Talon. So this is what you want to see from Motivate. You want to see them work this lane stronger. This is, as you mentioned from draft, Mike, the slower lane for Talon, and KP's just going to have to play a bit more passively, focus on last hits, try to get some denies, but Motivate won't make that a simple process.
No, they certainly won't, John. And at the end of the day, it is still two strength heroes against an Undying, which is never going to be fun. Of course, over in the mid lane, Makoto and Gacha Boy. Last time I did say that, you know, it should have been much more of an even matchup. This time, I guess I could kind of say the same, though I do feel like the Kunkka should have a somewhat slight advantage with that Tidebringer, especially as the levels do go up. We'll see what Makoto does want to do about it, but we know how great this guy is on his Spirit Heroes, so I'm not going to be too surprised if Makoto does pull ahead once again.
Yeah, I think it's a rather even matchup actually overall, because you can use the Resonant Pulse to absorb a little bit of that damage coming through from Tidebringer. The Cleave still counts as physical, so you do get some value on the Resonant Pulse. You are trading a little bit better here for Gacha Boy, and this is really good news for Motivate.Trust. Water Rune and Power Runes are a little bit more important for Mikado to sustain his harass, so we're going to have to see him control as much as he can. Maybe get some support rotations. This is where Talon's draft also lags behind a bit. You can only really expect a Grimstroke to come in. And even then, we don't see that commitment from most teams to head mid by 4 and 6 minutes. So this should give a lot more to Gacha Boy to hold the lane. And hopefully he does get like a fast level 6. That's the turning point for the Kunkka. You can definitely look to apply a lot of pressure and threaten with a kill with a Ghost Ship here.
Top lane, Massa going for a deep dive here on Q. Very fire up, Massa. He might be going a bit too far, but he does secure first blood. Problem is, it may cost him his own life. And it will. In fact, they found both of them.
Whoa.
Savage, that was a very nice plasma field flying out. You saw him maneuver himself to make sure it landed on Tigger as well on the outer edge. And so they get first blood, but Savage, he gets 2 kills for himself.
Yeah, that's not good news. We've seen what happens when Savage does have a really good laning start, and I do like seeing that pressure coming out from Motivate. This is something that they didn't have in Game 1. They weren't really able to run down to the Batrider. Now they know their Mars is strong. They know they've got a way of managing that Razor. Widow's killed. I mean, look at Savage. He's level 4. Masa just hits 3. You're having a good time on this Razor already, despite losing your Grimstroke first, and at this point, it's a lot harder to manage for the Mars. You can still play it safe, stand back and farm, but you're not going to be slowing down this Razor anytime soon, as they've done a pretty good job in punishing that aggression.
That they have.
A golden thread.
In the mid lane, still a lot of pressure being applied here from Gacha Boy, and he certainly is using that hero advantage he does have very effectively. Makoto still able to CS quite decently, only 1 CS behind the Kunkka, but been constantly on low HP, and he's even is forced to bring his own salve out now. So not the fun times here for the Void Spirit. But I suppose, again, considering the lane matchup, as long as you can secure that CS here for the Void, you're still going to be pretty happy. He is going to have that inherent disadvantage in this hero matchup. He's still doing a great job of it. I mean, not really struggling too much.
Yeah, and you still have the eye you could play around with as well for that overcharge spell amp, so you still have a lot of output. Up top, though, they're still keeping that aggression up here.
But they are. Savage gonna back off Q. Did land the Stroke of Fate on Massa, but they won't be able to secure the kill. I suppose they may have forced Tigger to go back to the fountain now, though, as he has handed his salve over to Massaros. We'll see what Tigger does do, but this Mars lane not really going as expected, and, you know, generally speaking, you have the spear to push Savage away if he does land the link. That's exactly what Massa does this time. But you missed that spear once, and you're probably just as good as dead.
Yeah, it gives a massive opening onto the side of Talon. And just comparing the off lanes here, Mike, Masa's start is a lot slower than even KP's, and we talked about the struggles of this Night Stalker. First Night is up, they can run down Toy.
Oh, he's going to go for the spear out onto the Grimstroke, but the Inkswell does still land on Massaros. He's eventually going to drop, and John, like you mentioned, Toy bot lane has died as well on the Drow as KP. He has the nighttime. There is no escape now. And although they should have really dominated this lane, they have not done a good enough job, I don't think, to slow down KP. And now with the nighttime already here, it's probably just too late.
Yeah, I mean, Night Stalker hits like a truck in nighttime. He gets the bonus attack speed, and they're just going to keep going.
Toy, I mean, you can't... You could kind of tell that positioning was a bit off. KP won't go for the dive as Hyde was a little bit low on HP and didn't have the regen to back him up. Motivate, they've got to be so careful now. You can't play aggressive in the nighttime against this Night Stalker.
Dire structures are fortified.
Oh, that's also opening up some movement here onto the mid, trying to secure those 6-minute runes. Don't manage to find a top, so Mikado's going to have a little bit more to play with. Might force a fight, though.
Makoto, a step, he does get that power rune that he wanted. It's about all he did want as well. And Gacha didn't have the torrent to throw out after the X, so there's going to be no lockdown flying out into the Void Spirit. And quite frankly, I don't think they would have had enough damage anyway. In fact, never mind, because Gacha now is the one in trouble. 1-6, 1k net worth lead for Talon. And make matters worse, KP is going again. Boom Boy is going to be targeted. He'll drop the tombstone, and that'll be enough to force them back. KP not going to be willing to risk anything, as they've had a fantastic lane, and there's just no need to risk giving that advantage back the way of the Drow.
I mean, I love how Talon's come out of these lanes. Like, you mentioned that potential for a slower start from the off lane. KP just plays ultra defensive, High just stands back. They never give that opening for Toy to use a slow for them to use the tombstone slow and just run them down and never get more than 2 decay stacks. So you have a lot of power from Talon coming down from bot. You have a lot of power from top in terms of the initial farm. The momentum here for Motivate.Trust feels like it's all on Gacha Boy. He's the one with the most solid lane outcome so far, going relatively even with Mikado slightly ahead of him. So you do want to see that Kunkka maybe make a side lane rotation soon. He will hit level 7. Could be a good point, and if they can land a combination onto Mikado, that could be a kill. He's still a bit too mobile, and it goes back to the support smite. What happens when a Weaver comes in mid? You don't have a follow-through stun for the X-Torrent boat, and a Void Spirit's so hard to catch that it feels like X-Torrent boat might not be enough anyway.
I don't think it is. I just don't think it is. Again, I don't think the advantage you've gained here as Gacha is good enough right now. Like, he's roughly 400 gold ahead, but Makoto's going to catch up after this creep wave. Tigger is still hanging around, trying to be annoying, and does get the regen rune. Nice little pick up there from the Weaver. Just deny that away from the Void Spirit. So we are going to see a bit of a smoke coming out. Gacha ready to rotate along with Boom Boy towards that top lane, but nobody's there. Everyone's already backed off, so instead they'll move into that dire jungle where Savage is farming up quite a lot of stacks, but does have to back off now as Gacha does show himself with his smoke. They've dropped the tombstone, but Savage, he wants to go for the fight. Soul Rip already committed. Gacha, he's copping so much damage here as Savage. He's going to get X back, but they might find the cooker in time. In fact, never mind. Massa's there to save the day on the Mars, and they will find a double. Though Gacha is eventually going to die anyway to Makoto, who has rotated. And hell, he might find a double himself. If he does, it'll make it a much better trade here for Talon, but Massa will be able to TP up. And overall, I'd still say that's a win coming up for Motivate.Trust.
And that's what we needed to see. We needed a good rotation out. They managed to find a punishment onto Savage. That was still a knife's edge, though. Like, if Masaros didn't show up in the nick of time with the arena, there was a right-click flying out to kill off Gacha Boy, and that would have been credited to Savage had the arena not dropped and blocked that projectile. So, Razor's edge for Motivate, but they are finding some openings. I think overall, Talon's still in a really good position despite that loss. They're having a lot of free space this time for KP. They clear out the bot tier 1 with Savage TPing in, and they're starting to build into that blink timing now in the Night Stalker. So in comparison to game 1, KP's off to a really faster start. He is going to have that initiation, and Gacha Boy's a bit vulnerable here.
Oh, Gacha. Oh, yes, he is. He'll still go for a run, and he has boat up in 5, so that might be enough to allow him to get away, but no, Dark Ascension popped. KP's not playing around. Gacha, he'll keep running. It just won't make the difference as now KP looking to rotate top lane, wants full value out of this Dark Ascension. And here we go. It's the kind of Night Stalker play you love to see as Makoto's already baiting for the team. This could be very dangerous as Toy. He has no idea they're coming. KP, in fact, who are we going for? Toy, he's going to go down. In the meantime, Makoto, he might be able to get away. He'll dissimulate. They'll keep chasing. Boom Boy, does he have a spell? No, he doesn't. He can't kill him off. They take down Q, but what does it matter? KP, he's still going with a triple kill out on the Night Stalker now, as they might be able to clean him up, and they do. But it still seems like a big win here for Talon, and Makoto will make his way out.
Radiant's middle tower is
I guess the goal change may still favor Motivate, considering how bad this game's gone. But overall, Talon are still coming out on top.
They are. That's still a big benefit to Talon, because as we just mentioned, Blink for KP is about to come up. So the kills he found is accelerating that timing, even if he loses a bit of it to the death. He's only about 370 gold away. So the Night Stalker is going to be able to gap close a lot better. They managed to save Mikado, who's the bigger target. And They are still building up to those points where they're really strong. Motivate.Trust are starting to find those openings, though. They're also very close to Masa's own blink on that Mars, and they are getting the X off on Q.
Yeah, Q gonna pop the ink swell, but he is gonna get deleted here by Massa. Very nice setup there from Motivate.Trust as they are looking a lot better now. They'll move into that mid-tier 1 tower, and they should be able to secure this one. Talon not even going to try to defend that. And a big smoke up. Massa on the front lines again, has the arena back up, ready to go. But who are they aiming? They're trying to rotate into that triangle and maybe find Hyde first. You need that IO dead, but no, they found Savage. Arena is going to be there. Can they kill him off, though? They'll drop absolutely everything onto him, but no, the relocate, but never mind. There's an X-Pack here from Gacha. And they're going to find the Razor's life. And they should even be able to find the IO. So he will have to make his way back over. Motivate, able to find their footing.
That's what you want to see. They get the right timing, they get the right position. They're playing around with this early aggression they can have as a team. And they're also starting to buy some space out for Toy while they're moving his 4. So we're seeing that early rise up with how tanky they are with the boat, with how big a Mars can be at this point in the game. And the side of Talon don't really have the burst damage. They've also got to tempo themselves around nighttime, around Dark Ascension. Whenever that's down, KP can't contribute, but he will go now.
Yeah, Massa, he's got a haste rune, so he might be able to get out of this. KP unable to catch anyone else. So Massa just kind of abusing the haste rune, does get Dark Ascension forced out here from KP. Oh, but Toy. Oh, Toy. Can he get out of this, Jonathan? There'll be a gust. KP still just chasing the tree line, but the TPs are going to be forced, and that'll be enough for the Night Stalker. Just leave the area ASAP as Tigger. Trying to get a bit of vision on him, but eventually will give up. Motivate, not trying to allow Talon to do what they want with this draft. Trying to deny the aggression. And so far, so good for them.
They've got the blink up on Masa, so they can play a lot more aggressive now on Motivate.Trust's end. They are also inching towards that BKB timing for Gotcha Boy. So a lot more presence for the Kunkka up front. And for the side of Talon, this feels like the moment where the draft has to sit back, build up a little bit more. They need some items up in Mikado as well. Without anything up, I mean, he just has double Null's Yule. Double Null's phase. He's still working towards his Yules. He's going to need that defensive item if he wants to engage anymore.
Massa gonna move in. X is there on Makoto as their boat will connect eventually. Savage is gonna move in, but a nice arena is there. The Mars setting up. Makoto still dropping. He'll get to dissimulate in time, and he might just make it again. Aether Remnant gonna connect onto Tigger, not allowing the chase down. So instead, they'll have to go onto Savage. They're still going though. This Razor's dropping low, and Major's drop as Gacha is still carrying on and does secure the kill along with Boom Boy. And 3 go down for Talon. Motivate.Trust now the aggressors. But they've got to be careful not to stay too long because Makoto's back in. He's found the Mars. He might even have the Undying. Boom Boy, gonna be fine for now as Gacha gonna move back in. There's no step charges left here for Makoto. So they only find the Mars. And Tigger will make sure that Makoto does not feel safe continuing this chase. So still Motivate, finding a very, very good trade. Buying even more time for Toy in this round though. John, if I may comment, his net worth is still very low on this Drow Ranger.
Yeah, it's still not where you want it to be on the Drow. I think the big thing that Motivate.Trust are doing right now, Mike, is they're recognizing the fact that when it's daytime and Dark Ascension was just popping the last 2 minutes, you are going to be playing as foreign talent. KP will not show up. He has nothing to contribute. He has nothing to do in these fights. So they've got the numbers advantage, and without the Night Stalker, they've got the control advantage. However, it is nighttime now. There is a 3-man smoke out from Talon. KP has Dark Ascension up as well, so they could look to make the play. Talon do have a couple of forward wards, but they haven't taken out that mid-tier 1. So rotating into the triangle is a little bit tougher. Let's see if they find the angle for mid, though.
Now Talon going to move in. Q. Makoto and Hyde looking to try and jump the mid lane. Motivate.Trust, though. Still very, very strong as a team at the moment. I mean, net worth-wise, they are still very far behind in terms of every core, but once this round does catch up, suddenly the net worth should go back the other way towards Motivate. It's that classic 4 Protect 1 style that Motivate.Trust kind of became famous for back about a year ago or two. I'm sure they don't have Jackie, who was known to be a crazy fast farmer, but eventually Toy will catch up. He just needs the time.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Talon, they don't seem confident in trying to force a fight right now. Even during that nighttime, it seems like they've accepted the fact that the team fight from Motivate is proving to be a little bit too powerful at the moment. They'll just sit back, relax, and get some more core items up. I think the most important ones being the BKBs. Once you've got those BKBs up, suddenly this Conqueror and Mars don't look quite as intimidating.
Yeah, you lose a lot of your control. You lose a lot of your burst damage right now on the side of Motivate.Trust. And that is going to give Talon that second win almost. Still, I appreciate what Motivate.Trust has done with his space. They've planted some really good aggressive wards. There's no control in the top jungle here from Talon. They can't farm in that area at all. They run a massive risk if they run up there. And Motivate.Trust just go for the Roche. Not the quickest Roche in the world, but still fast enough and far away enough from Talon that it doesn't look likely they're going to be able to spot that. Again, no vision here from Talon at all.
Very nice Roshan here from Motivate.Trust. First Roche of the game, going to go the way of the Drow. So you've got that secondary life up, and that might mean Toy feels comfortable to start moving in and start joining the team. Again though, John, he is lacking a lot of net worth at the moment. So he is still very far behind, but he can still offer some bonus damage. And maybe with that secondary life, he can get away from the fight without quite dropping his real life. But still, Tigger, nice Sakuchi away, just in the nick of time. And now Massa trying to move in for a counter initiation, but doesn't quite land the spear on Makoto. It's very quick reactions from both sides. It's Makoto going to try and move in for another attempt, but never mind. They want the tier 1 mid tower, and they're probably going to be able to get away with this one. It's Motivate. They may not want to force the fight without the arena up.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It's a lot of control they're lacking. They're in a good position to circle around here, though.
Yeah, Makoto. He's made the jump in on Gacha. Trying to get that damage out, and now with the Soulbind, they are locked down. Trying to help out is the Drow and Savage. He's going to pump the BKB and avoid the boat damage. Gacha's gone. They'll at least find Hyde, and they might find the Razor. Savage is dropping very, very quickly and does eventually go down. So we did see a buyback up from Hyde to try and save the day, but he wasn't quite there fast enough. So not a bad fight at all for Motivate, as they're even potentially going to find a dieback onto Hyde just before he does get the relocate back to the fountain. Motivate still able to come out on top.
You've got to appreciate the minus armor coming in from Tigger. He's got the swamp behind the bottom.
They're trying to do something special again. Makoto going to find one. He might find a second. That'll be the Mars gone, and now Toy, he needs to get the hell out of there. They have a Yule Scepter. If they wanted to try and use it, but they don't have step charges to close the gap. Oh, that was a very, very scary Aether Remnant connecting, if it had. That Observer Ward just barely giving rain vision on the Drow, but wasn't quite quick enough. So instead, they're going to go back on Gacha. The Ink-Swirl is not going to land, as they still fight for that mid-tier 1 tower. Makoto trying his absolute best. We'll be able to avoid the Torrent, and it is time to leave.
What a back and forth between these teams. It's, as you mentioned, Mike, Motivate.Trust are finding the adjustments. They're playing around as 4 really well, the playstyle that they used to have with Jackie. And I think Talon are the ones overextending a bit. Like, Savage just isn't tanky enough to take in the full extent of the swarm and just take the right-click damage. We are seeing a lot coming through from Tigger. The Spirit Vessels also starting to slow down some of that healing coming out from the IO. So you are doing a lot to mitigate that sustain, and KP's not in a very safe position here.
Certainly is not. Torrent and Boat is going to fly right in. KP, that'll be his life gone. And they should realize there is a ward watching that area, or at least now, as Gacha will pick up another kill on that Kunkka. Bot lane though, so they are going to find the Mars, so an offlane trade happening across the map. And both teams are kind of set up to try and go after these tier 2 towers in the side lanes. And they may just. So it seems like nobody's backing off to try and defend.
Should be an even trade if both sides just fully commit. This does give a bit of a better time for Motivate.Trust. It just feels like that top outpost is a lot more important, considering the Roche control it gives you. So they can secure themselves for the next Roshan here. They still have a minute and a half in that Aegis, no risk at all in that push. They will find it ahead of Talon, who do back off. I think they understand that they can't really fully commit to the siege as fast, and they're just going to have to accept that loss. They will find the mid-tier 1, Mike, so Talon has better approach angles now into the triangle. They have a better time now trying to jump across from this bot jungle side, which is where they've really been farming up. So they managed to get some space going for themselves. But again, very close game. 15-16, 1K lead for Talon. In comparison to how game 1 went, this is already good news for Motivate.Trust, and they're going to go for a smoke play.
That they are. Motivate.Trust. Only 2K net worth behind right now. Looking to move in. Scan is there though. Talon, they know exactly where Motivate are, so they can prep for the fight or they can choose to retreat. Right now they're choosing to retreat, but they aren't grouping up. KP does have that Dark Ascension with the BKB up. Massa though, gonna jump in, but no, he's missed the spear, and now the Aether Remnant gonna connect onto that Mars. They should be able to burst it down, no problem, as Makoto will just get it done on his own. Massa, still not dead. The Yule Scepter's there. Still surviving, however, Makoto, he can't finish the job off, so KP's gonna move in and get it done himself. The Mars will drop. Now here comes Savage with the link up onto Gacha Boy. They've got the Conquer, stealing all the damage away as Gacha. He'll be forced to BKB TP, but Toy, he's been left behind. Aegis down. One more life. It'll be no issue. They've got so much damage. Toy, he can't even find Q.
And then that's a good attempt at the end there, but they lose a lot in Motivate.Trust. Really big turnaround from Talon. That's the BKB reveal on KP. So you're seeing the effect of that now, allowing him to jump in without a care in the world and locking in that backline. And with those kills, Makoto's still looking to play aggressive.
Yeah, Gacha has been caught. Makoto just very good at setting up these team fights, and while Talon, they make use of it. With the relocate from Hyde and Savage, it's a very easy setup. They can either go for the tier 2 mid, or they could just go back for the double damage rune, and it seems like Makoto does want to pick that up. And instead, they might just focus on the easier tier 2 being down at the bot lane into potentially the outpost of the Radiant. It seems like, for now at least, Talon are in no rush, as they hold a 7k net worth advantage. And of course, I believe Savage has the refresh orb now. So things are about to get a little bit more spicy here for the Razor.
Yeah, just double links. We've already been seeing double links with the Soulbind, so you could get triple links now going your way, and going to be really nice for Savage. Of course, the minus armor that you get from the Eye of the Storm being doubled up is really good as well. I think the only issue we have for the Razor now is really just durability. He is going for the Satanic next, and he is going for the Blink we mentioned from draft. He'll have a way of jumping onto the Drow if that is the issue they want to take care of on the Razor's end. Static link that up and take Toy out completely of the picture. You have a lot of options with that Razor now, with the build-up Savage is going for. And Taloners still going for the smoke plays. They will have Dark Ascension up in a few seconds, so KP does have presence for this movement.
Jump in, Gacha. The Yule's gonna hold him up and make sure he cannot X himself back as they've got him. Gacha says it all, John. Oh no, indeed. As he does drop again. And Talon, they're looking for more now. With this Dark Ascension, they'll move towards the north where they'll spot out Toy on that Drow Ranger, and that's exactly who they want to take down. Toy has been slowly keeping up now with the net worth, but not for long. That'll be another. Makoto. Oh, they're going to find Boom Boy. Very nice blink in from KP. A well-oiled machine is Talon, as they will find their third kill across the map. That net worth lead, it is not dropping. In fact, Makoto, does he want another? Massa? Can he get jumped? I don't know if Makoto can actually get this done by himself. Oh, never mind. They have a relocate. He's never alone.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's just some sick timing from Makoto. You saw him TP out right as he got the Remnant on Boomboy, gave the kill to KP, looked for the opportunity on the bot lane, knowing that relocate is up, and Talon's playing with their tempo really well now. They're playing around, their cooldown's great, they're working the map really well, they're jumping across with the relocates really nicely. The Roche is going to be up in a minute. They still don't have outpost control bot, not the most important anyway. They do manage to catch out more though, but don't really have the stun to lock in. So Tigger does get away in time, but you are really ahead on Talon. 10k up is
Look at Makoto!
Man.
Makoto's just going in on his own. Oh, he might pay for this one, but never mind. He's got the Yule Scepter. They can't X him back, and Savage is in. Toy. Oh, he's had the life sucked out of him here. They'll go onto the Undying, and they'll find a secondary. Still a big arena out. They might at least be able to find Hyde, but Savage, he's not done. He'll refresh. Another link out. Massa, he'll pop the BKB, but it does not help. It just does nothing. Makoto just setting up everything for Talon. They might even have a Weaver now. The crippling fear to hold him down with the silence. And another Aether Remnant Makoto. This man's just a sniper right now, John. And they've got him.
Radiant's middle tower is
Jeez.
under attack.
Yeah, Talon are just really running down. They're filling it. And Motivate.Trust, they had that really big window where they were keeping the game even. I think the issue went back to what you were saying, Mike. We weren't seeing Toy get enough from that moment. He's still bottom network core right now, despite all that aggression Motivate.Trust was getting on earlier. And you want this Drow to be on top of Razor and itemization. You just don't have enough damage, you don't have enough presence on that hero. And with the blink, again, Razor just nullifies.
KP gonna move in on his own. Toy trying his best to just right click away, but that's not gonna help. It is not gonna help Toy. Not against Makoto and KP. Makoto with another double, and John, he's 11-0 and 11 now. Not one life dropped here for this Void Spirit, and he's got the Ags up to make matters worse. Oh, it's such a hard defense now for Motivate.
Middle tower has fallen.
I mean, they at least have Torrent both. They've got Arena, so their team fight on the high ground is pretty good. They've got to really work the angle as well. I don't think you really want to force the fights outside at this point. Motivate.Trust don't really have the map control. They've lost 2 tier 2s in that span of time. And Talon's just a little bit too big now in itemization to really look to burst down. They've got a lot of durability. We're even seeing KP go for the Basher. Once his courier's up, should be able to deliver some of the components out as well. And that's just going to mean the BKBs really aren't going to save you anymore in these fights.
That they won't, John. That they will not. It's a 16k advantage here, Talon. They might just go back for the Roshan now. That is if they scout it out. Group up here from Motivate.Trust to try and reclaim that triangle, and that's exactly what they do. Every chance they can get right now, Motivate. Again, Toy is just... He hasn't got the net worth right now, John, to really be able to fight back. And well, they found the Weaver already. Tigger's gone. Who else have they got? A big arena down. They've got Hyde. In fact, they've got Savage now. Oh, the relocate. It was right into the triangle, and Motivate.Trust, they just waited patiently. That's a good fight for Motivate.Trust, as now maybe they could try to force this Roshan attempt.
They've got a lot of time to get that done. There are some steal opportunities for Talon for not careful. They've got to watch themselves.
Oh, Makoto. He does not care, John. He just doesn't care.
Oh, God.
Oh, Makoto. Look at this guy. He just jumps right in. Just give me the Inkswell. I'll get the damn job. I'll get the job done myself. On to Gacha, boy. They've got another.
Okay. All right.
All right, Makoto. Calm down,
All right.
Makoto. That's enough. That's enough.
You know what it is? They're tipping high too. You know what it is? Mikado is getting vengeance for the birthday boy die. You know, he's died a bit too many times. 0-6-16 for Hyde, so Mikado's like, I've got your back, buddy. I'm gonna clean them up for you. Your death and Savage death doesn't matter. We're gonna have Roshan, and they will go in. Savage isn't up yet. This is a much slower Roshan than you want, but they've still got overcharge onto KP, so this shouldn't take too long. Tigger is around, but oh no.
Naturally, they are going to have the Sentry Wards placed down, and well, with the silence out from Makoto, it's going to be no problem. Roshan is now definitely set to go the way of Talon. What do you do? What the hell do you do? Shards up, Aegis up, they'll just give it to the Void Spirit. In fact, they're going for another fight. KP's already set up. They found Toy again. He has no buyback. Boom Boy can't really survive either. And KP's not done yet. He wants Massaros. And he might just have Massaros. The Savage? Just hang around the fountain. Just make sure Gacha Boy can't come out. Door's locked. And Motivate, they're getting around that point, John, where it might be time to call the game, as there's no buybacks available. We'll see if they want to keep trying to hold, but it's rough. 24k behind. I don't see how you do it.
Yeah, I mean, they had a really good mid game. They managed to slow down Talon, but the moment Talon started getting those BKBs up and running, they just found their grip once more, started running down, understanding that a lot of that momentum from Motivate was from the burst damage of the Kunkka, was from the magic damage and burst damage coming out, and the control of the Mars. And once they removed that aspect of the BKBs, there wasn't much left to it. Like, again, you're just not big enough on Toy to really carry that weight. He just never found enough farm, even with all that space. And he was just forced to be really active on the Drow. I don't think that's entirely Toy's fault. He had to be there to do some damage, and it just put him at risk. And again, it slowed down his farming by a considerable amount. He does have the BKB, There's some more protection, but I'm not sure if that fixes all the issues.
It doesn't look like it fixes any issues, John. Toy copping so much damage as Makoto truly showing us what the definition of fearless is this game. Makoto, another Aether Rim to be thrown out, this time not connecting. They'll X him up, but he doesn't care. He's got an Aegis up. In fact, Inkswell is out. He won't make the jump in yet, though. Masseros gonna show up. There's your spear out. It might be your chance to get that Aegis down, or maybe not, because the damage is just not there. Bode is gonna be juked. Makoto, he'll move in. Back on Toy. Toy trying to run, but Dissimulate is gonna get it done. It's a complete mess here from Motivate, as they'll drop the arena. They're gonna try one last time in this game number 2. They've lost Karcher, and he's seen enough. He'll call the GG, and Talon Esports, they'll take a 2-0 victory over Motivate.Trust. And this game was a lot closer there, John, but not quite close enough for Talon. They were just too good today.
Definitely not close enough. There was, again, that really good comeback mid-game where Motivate.Trust just used that blink on Masseros, used the aggression they had with Gotcha Boy up front, and just managing to get the rundowns, catch these heroes without BKBs, and get the punishment off. But it's just the issue of your Drow wasn't farming enough. And in a couple of those fights, Toy was showing up. He wasn't just free to farm every single creep wave, farm the jungle as much as he wanted. He had to help his team. So all of that aggression was coming at the cost of not scaling on your win condition. Whereas for Talon, sure, you know, they were dropping a few kills here and there. They were still keeping network parity for most of that game. And once they start running down, that's still a Razor. That's still a Night Stalker and a Void Spirit. These heroes don't need much to actually start doing some damage in comparison to the Drow, and they just managed to get control there from Talon. Props to Motivate.Trust for cleaning up after game 1. Game 1 was rough. Game 2 looked a lot better, but Talon still come out as a better team here, Mike.
Yeah, they certainly do, Jonathan. They certainly do. We are going to be waiting around to see if we are going to get an interview here from someone from Talon. I'm sure they're enjoying themselves right now. Probably very happy faces all around here for Talon Esports. Well, they've just been doing a fantastic job recently, John. I mean, the roster changes obviously working out very nicely for them. And yeah, I mean, they just look stronger than ever. I mean, I think you and I both agree that in the previous iteration of Talon, they just, you know, looked a bit lost. But now they, again, I kind of said well-oiled machine, and I think that's the only way to describe it. It's just a machine right now from Talon Esports.
I think, Mike, you're forgetting a couple of things. Tour 1, it wasn't Talon.johnxfire. Tour 2, Talon Sophie, Talon Elise. You know, we've got us. So hey, maybe that's it, Mike. You know, it's the buff. What can you say? You know, maybe you with the SMG buff, SMG might start to kick it into overdrive as well. Who knows, Mike? I think we're onto something here.
Listen, I mean, look, I've got an SMG jersey, John. I'm not SMG.MLP Dota yet, right? So let's calm down. I wanna get some, you know, I want to get an organization before we're talking about MLP buffs. Thank you very much. Are we gonna have an interview? Where the hell is Nino? Where the hell is Nino? Get Nino in here. Where is he?
That's why he's number 2. That's why Doogie's number 1. You know, it's time to blast him on ping. Nino, interview? All right. So we'll find out soon enough. I'm sure our hardworking number 2 admins on the job, Mike. We'll find out if you've got someone. I can also ask Hyde, birthday boy himself, if anyone down for an interview. I'm just gonna ask. But yeah, you know,
wow.
Going back to that topic of SMG, you know, I know you were like, oh, you know, we're not tying in. Mike, you got your jersey ahead of the other Mike.
Yeah.
Michael Ross Jr.
Poor Ninja Boogie.
It cracks me up every time there's a post about that, and then he's just like, where's my jersey? It's like, oh no.
Ninja Boogie, if you are out there listening, I am so sorry, sir. I am so sorry. It's I don't know how I get a jersey before he does. Pretty sure he's been playing in the shops as well. He's a shop boy right now, John. So well, they've got to sort him out. They've got to bring him over to the game house, and you know, maybe he can smoke with Raging Potato as the draft's going on. You know, just
walk away.
Just walk away. I don't understand what these guys are saying. Just draft me whatever. Come back to the desk and suddenly I'm playing POS 3 Gyrocopter and POS 3 Ember Spirit. That's a poor old Raging. He's got no idea what's going on. He just plays what he needs to play. John, have we got a response yet? Where the hell's Nino?
Yeah, I believe we've got Q. I'm not sure where he is, because Q told me to say slowly. So we'll take it easy on Q. He's been learning his English. and we'll just wait when he pops in. Ready for? I'll let him know we're ready. Ready for you. I'm doing Nita's job, Mike. What is this, Nita? Where are you? You're missing in action. We know Doogie is right by his bed when he works. He gets it done fine.
Yeah, that he does.
We love you. Just kidding.
Yeah.
He's a stress guy, you know. He's a busy man. Understandable. Sure. Okay, so we might have a double interview here, Mike.
Double interview.
Yes, we might
Which
have a
means
double.
we have to do double the work, John, which is very upsetting for you and I, but we'll try our best. I mean, you and I, we're terrible interviewers, as we know. We just never have anything
Okay,
prepared
we've
for
got
these poor
them.
players.
We've got them, Mike.
All right,
they're
I'm
waiting
bringing
in
them.
the interview.
Hold on, let me just adjust their volumes, because usually they come in and blow our ears off, so hold on a second. Let me just lower them a little bit, because I know these gamers don't have good microphones. They have those headset microphones, but I'll bring them in now.
Talon mics are good, Mike. I can vouch for that.
All right. Well, hello, 23 Savage and Q. Congratulations on your victory, boys. How are we doing? Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, Savage. How you doing, sir?
I'm gonna help him translate.
Oh,
So-
okay. You're translating for Q then.
Yeah. He can understand English, but not that clear. So I'm gonna help.
Okay.
Well, can you ask Q how he's doing then, Savage?
How are you, Q?
I'm fine.
So he understand, but if you are using like advanced word, he cannot get it.
Oh, fair enough.
Right.
All right, tell us how it was. I mean, you guys went against Motivate.Trust. Savage, I know you in particular are very good friends with the Motivate.Trust boys, and obviously Q was an ex-team member of the team. How was it going up against them in this best of 3?
รู้สึกยังไงแบบได้เจอกับเพื่อนร่วมทีมเก่า
Nothing, just tournament game.
No worries.
He doesn't feel anything.
It doesn't feel anything. Wow, cold-hearted Q, huh? That's what we like to hear. Tell me about how he's enjoying
dumb.
Talon. You guys look really damn good. Like everyone's working together. The coordination's amazing. How are you guys communicating? Who's the shot caller in this team?
ใครเป็นคนช็อตคอ
Everyone,
Everyone.
if someone get idea, they will call.
All right, fair enough. Go on, John.
Yeah, love to hear that teamwork dynamic coming out from Talon. Now, Q, is there any team that you think left here in Div 2 that you guys as a team might look out for? Is there any team left that you find as a challenge for Tour 2 here?
คิดว่าทีมไหนเก่งใน Division 2
We AG
Apes?
because we won them on scrim, but
Okay.
other team we win.
That is interesting. Apes, out of all the teams, is the one that won once. That's love to hear it. My favorite boys from Talon struggling against my favorite Apes on Apes. I'm looking forward to that matchup. Q, I'm curious. I've gotten feedback from Savage, from Hyde, from Mikoto about, food and living in the Philippines. How are you finding the Philippines in comparison to Thailand, Q?
รู้สึกยังไงกับฟิลิปปินส์เปรียบเทียบกับประเทศไทยในการมาอยู่
It's hard to me because first time I stay outside and food,
food is hard to eat.
yeah,
That's
He
fair.
said it's only like beef or pork or chicken. There's
Yep.
no like other menu.
There's no veg. That's the
Yeah,
Philippines. That's how we are. Now, I am curious though about the food. I've gotten feedback as well from the rest of the team. Savage, you know this. Q, are you an enjoyer of Filipino fast food?
ชอบกินฟาสต์ฟู้ดฟิลิปปินส์ปะแบบพวกแมคโดนัลด์จอร์ลี่บี
yeah, it's good.
That's
I
all
like
I
it.
want to hear.
All right, Savage. Before we let you two go, Can you just tell Q I love his haircut? I mean, I love his hair. Can you tell Q he's got the best hair in SCA Dota?
เขาบอกว่าพี่มีทรงผมที่สวยที่สุดในซีอะไรผมเท่
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. We'll let you guys go. We'll let you guys celebrate, and hopefully you guys
wait.
go on.
One
John.
more thing. Do you guys have anything planned for Zio, for the birthday boy himself today?
Who?
For Hyde, Zio, Brizio.
มีของขวัญวันเกิดให้ไฮปะ
No.
He's broke.
Fair enough.
He
Fair
was
enough.
broke.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fair. Save some money. That's all good. Celebrate together in the team house. That's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on your victory, and we can't wait to see you guys playing again. Thanks so much.
ยินดีด้วยในชัยชนะ แล้วก็หวังว่าจะเจอกันอีกทีนึงบอกบ๊ายบายมันเลย
Bye bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
บ๊าย
guys.
บาย
Bye. It was a lovely interview with the boys. I mean, they're great boys. I mean, you know, they're having a good laugh. Obviously, Q trying his absolute best to get the English out, but yeah, it's not that easy. English is a complicated and overly complicated language, John. Even I don't know how to speak English properly, and I'm a Dota 2 caster. So there you go. Shout out to them for trying their best, and shout out for Savage for being a good sport and coming in and helping his boy out. Very, very good to see. And John, may I just add, I did mean it. That man has the best haircut in Dota. Q has he's got a really nice haircut. I do love it.
Yeah. I love the dye. You know, you saw the pictures with them with the Talon hoodies as well. Those look really good. You know, no bias here, Mike, but it is looking good. And hopefully, you know, before we close out, again, happy birthday to Hyde, to Zio himself. Had a great series. No plans for celebration, but you know what, Mike? If you have a birthday, you don't have anything planned, you can always have a Jollibee spaghetti. So hopefully he gets some fast food going. He seems to like it, and hopefully the rest of Talon has a great time ahead. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Talon versus Apes. What's up, Mike?
You're part of Talon, John. It's someone's birthday. Are you telling me you're not gonna take the birthday boy out? You're not gonna send him some money to buy some pizza or something? Is that what you're telling me? As a Talon member, you're not gonna have their backs. Is that what you're telling me?
Look. Q said it. Savage said it. We're all saving money right now, Mike. So Zio's got to fend for himself, but he can buy his own damn Jolly Spaghetti to celebrate. I'm sure he will.
But you've got like 5 different organizations lining up to have you, John. How can you not afford it? Look at the shades you've got on. You're such a cool guy.
Eye surgery. I just got eye surgery. I have to pay that off, Mike. It's not for free, unfortunately, you know? So I'm kind of broke. What can I do?
With that is going to be it for John and I. I believe Aries and Dan are going to be taking over for the next matchup, which is OB Neon versus Execration in Div 1. So obviously a fantastic duo, going to be doing a fantastic job in this next series. I don't know how long the break is. I'd ask Nino, but obviously he's very unreliable right now. So we'll try to get a timer going for the boys and see if we can kind of give you guys an update as to how long that next series is going to take. But it is MLP Dota, it is John X Bias, and it is an absolute pleasure. We'll see you guys all next time.